Welcome back to our video on the exploring the 88 constellations in an alphabetical order part 4. So let's get started. Number 34, Draco. Draco, also known as the Dragon constellation, is located in the far northern sky and has over 60 stars. The name comes from the Latin word draconem, which means huge serpent. One of the stars in the Draco constellation, Eta Draconis, is estimated to be 550 million years old. It is the second brightest star in the constellation. Draco is the 8th largest constellation in the night sky, covering 1083 square degrees and containing many prominent stars and deep sky objects. Its brightest star is Eltanin, with a magnitude of 2.2, and is also known as the Gamma star. Now let's see one interesting fact on Draco. It represents the dragon in Greek mythology, and contains the Cat's Eye Nebula and the famous Kepler's Supernova Remnant. Number 35, Aquarius. The Aquarius constellation is a small constellation in the northern sky that's named after the Latin word for little horse, or colt. Aquarius has around 25 variable stars, most of which are faint. The brightest star in Aquarius is Kit Alpha Equulae, which is a yellow star with a magnitude of 3.9 and is 186 light-years away from Earth. Kit Alpha is also known as the section of the horse in Arabic. The Aquarius constellation is estimated to be around 1.5 billion years old. It's located about 180 light-years from the Sun. The Aquarius constellation is 72 square degrees in size, making it the second smallest constellation in the night sky, after Crux. Kit Alpha is the brightest star in the constellation. Now let's see one interesting fact on Aquarius. It represents the little horse in Latin, one of the smallest constellations in the sky. Number 36, Eridanus. Eridanus is a constellation in the southern celestial hemisphere that is visible in the northern and southern hemispheres. The Eridanus constellation has 32 stars with known planets, but some say the number varies between 22 and 32. The brightest star is Arcana, Alpha Eridani, which has an apparent magnitude of 0.40 to 0.46. Arcana is the 9th brightest star in the night sky. The Eridanus constellation includes the star Angutina, which is estimated to be about 660 million years old. The constellation also contains the star Epsilon Eridani, which is estimated to be between 200 million and 800 million years old. The constellation contains hundreds of young stars, some as young as 70 million years old. Eridanus is the 6th largest constellation in the sky, covering 1,138 square degrees. It's also the second longest constellation in the night sky. Now let's see one interesting fact on Eridanus. It represents the river in Greek mythology. Arcana is notable for its rapid rotation, making it oblate in shape. Number 37, Fornax. Fornax, also known as the Furnace, is a constellation in the southern sky with 56 stars, including galaxies, dwarf galaxies, and superclusters. It's visible in the evening sky around October, and is known for its faint deep sky object. The constellation's brightest stars are of magnitude 4. The Fornax constellation has globular clusters that are between 2 billion and over 12 billion years old. The Fornax constellation is the 41st largest constellation in the night sky, covering 398 square degrees. Now let's see one interesting fact on Fornax. Represents the furnace in Latin, contains the Fornax cluster of galaxies. Number 38, Gemini. The Gemini constellation is one of the 88 constellations in the zodiac and is located in the northern hemisphere. The constellation has over 60 stars, including Castor, Pollux, and Gamma Geminorum. The two brightest stars, Alpha and Beta Geminorum, mark the heads of the twins. The star Iota Geminorum, or Geminorum, in the Gemini constellation is estimated to be about 800 million years old. The Gemini constellation is 514 square degrees in size, making it the 30th largest constellation in the night sky. The Gemini constellation has a brightness range of 3.15–3.9 magnitude. Now let's see one interesting fact on Gemini. It represents the twins in Greek mythology. Castor and Pollux are part of the winter hexagon asterism. Number 39, Grus. The Grus constellation, also known as Crane, is located in the southern sky and is made up of 52 stars. Its name comes from the Latin word for crane, a type of bird. Grus is represented as a long-necked whooping crane, and is also known as flamingo and bittern. The Grus constellation, also known as the Crane, is estimated to be about 100 million years old. The star Alnair, which is part of the Grus constellation, is also about 100 million years old. The Grus constellation is 366 square degrees in size, making it the 45th largest constellation in the night sky. Alpha Grus, also known as Alnair, is the brightest star in the Grus constellation with a magnitude of 1.7. It's a blue-white star that's 101 light-years away. Grus also has 3 stars that are brighter than magnitude 3.00, and 1 star that's within 32.6 light-years of Earth. Now let's see one interesting fact on Grus. It represents the crane in Latin. Alnair is one of the nearest bright stars to the solar system. Number 40, Hercules. Hercules is a constellation in the night sky that's named after the Roman hero Hercules, who is based on the Greek hero Heracles. The Hercules constellation has 22 stars in the main constellation and 106 named stars within its borders. The brightest star in the constellation is Beta Herculis, also known as Cornephoros, with an apparent magnitude of 2.81. The Hercules constellation has many stars, including Messier 92. This globular cluster is one of the oldest in the Milky Way, estimated to be 14.2 billion years old. It's about 26,700 light-years from the Sun. Hercules A. This elliptical galaxy is 2.1 billion years old and contains a supermassive black hole. The constellation Hercules is the 5th largest constellation in the night sky, covering 1,225 square degrees. Now let's see one interesting fact on Hercules. It represents the hero in Greek mythology, contains the globular cluster Messier 13, one of the brightest in the northern sky. Number 41, Horologium. Horologium is a constellation that's also known as the clock, or the pendulum clock. It's located outside the Milky Way in the southern celestial hemisphere, and has 27 stars, including Alpha Horology, Iota Horology, and R Horology. NGC 1261, a globular cluster in the Horologium constellation, is estimated to be 10.24 billion years old. It's made up of faint stars and is 53,500 light-years away from the Sun. The Horologium constellation is the 58th largest constellation in the night sky, with an area of 249 square degrees. The constellation's brightest star is Alpha Horology, which has an apparent magnitude of 3.85. It's an orange giant star that's 11 times the diameter of the Sun. Now let's see one interesting fact on Horologium. It represents the clock in Latin. Alpha Horology is a nearby star system with a known exoplanet. Number 42, Hydra. Hydra, also known as the sea serpent or water snake, is the largest constellation in the northern and southern hemispheres and is home to more than 60 stars, including Alphard, Beta Hydrae, and Sigma Hydrae. The NGC 2548, also known as M48, Messier 48, star cluster in the Hydra constellation is roughly 300 million years old. The Hydra constellation is the largest constellation in the night sky, covering 1,303 square degrees, or about 3% of the sky. It's also the longest constellation at over 100 degrees, stretching from Cancer in the west to Libra in the east. Alpha Hydrae, the brightest star in the constellation with a magnitude of 2.0. Other stars in Hydra include Gamma Hydrae, the second brightest star in Hydra, with an apparent magnitude of 2.993. Zeta Hydrae, the third brightest star in Hydra, with an apparent magnitude of 3.10. Now let's see one interesting fact on Hydra. It represents the water serpent in Greek mythology. Hydra is the largest constellation in the sky. Number 43, Hydrus. Hydrus is a small constellation in the southern sky that is also known as the male water snake. The constellation has 41 stars, including Beta Hydrae, Alpha Hydrae, and Gamma Hydrae. Beta Hydrae is the brightest star, with a magnitude of 2.8. The Hydrus constellation is thought to be between 6.4 and 7.1 billion years old. Hydrus is the 61st largest constellation in the sky, covering 243 square degrees. Hydrus is a constellation that contains only a few stars that are brighter than magnitude 4, and the brightest star in Hydrus is Beta Hydrae, with a visual magnitude of 2.82. Now let's see one interesting fact on Hydrus. It represents the male water snake in Latin. Alpha Hydrae is the nearest bright star to the south celestial pole. Number 44, Indus. The Indus constellation, also known as the Indian, is a large constellation in the southern sky that's visible from the southern hemisphere. The Indus constellation has 35 stars, including Alpha Indi, Beta Indi, Delta Indi, Epsilon Indi, and others. Alpha Indi is the brightest star, with a magnitude of 3.1. Beta Indi is a bright giant with a visual magnitude of 3.658 and is about 600 light-years distant. Delta Indi is the third brightest star, with a magnitude of 4.40, and is a binary star system located about 144 light-years away. Rho Indi from this constellation's, a yellow subgiant star that is believed to be about 13 billion years old. It is 86.43 light-years from the Sun and is expected to end its life as a planetary nebula, and Alpha Indi, a giant star that is estimated to be around 1 billion years old. It is about twice the mass of the Sun. Indus is a small constellation that covers 294 square degrees, making it the 49th largest of the 88 constellations in the night sky. Now let's see one interesting fact on Indus. It represents the Indian in Latin. So, that's solved on this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and comment. Subscribe for part 5. Thank